Question star 502. Honorable Member for Sherman.
Yes. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Energy the procurement method used in awarding contracts worth over 100 million Ghana cedis to Imperial Well Ventures to supply 150 watts street lights. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the procurement method used in award of the contract was the restricted tendering process, which, Mr. Speaker, it's in accordance with Section 38B of Act 663 of the Public Procurement Act as amended. Mr. Speaker, it is to be noted that the Ministry obtained approvals from the Public Procurement Authority and the Central Tender Review Committee prior to the award of this contract. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Yes, in conducting restrictive tendering, I want to ask the Minister whether there was post-qualification done about this particular company. Because if you are entering into restricted tendering, you must do post-qualification analysis, evaluation, capacity, capability of the company before you award the contract to that company. I want to know. I asked this question on the premise that the company was registered on the 20th April 2017. So whether this company has done any such activity before you have the confidence in the company to award such a contract worth over 100 million Ghana cedis. Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry has a list of pre-qualified contractors that undertake projects as and when the Ministry determines the availability of such projects. Mr. Speaker, the Procurement Authority, as we are aware, it's the responsible authority to grant the necessary approvals for such processes. This, Mr. Speaker, the authority has a mandate also to investigate and find out the competence in terms of qualifications, capability, core competence of some of these companies. I can assure the House that, Mr. Speaker, all these were taken into consideration both by the Ministry and the authority in the award of the contract. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Your last question.
I'm not a bit clear on that regard because the Minister is talking of pre-qualification and I'm talking of post-qualification. Whether there was post-qualification done on this particular company that was formed on the 4th of April 2017 to be awarded a contract worth 100 million Ghana cedis. And don't forget, the company is also a sole proprietor. It is not a limited liability. So I'm talking of post-qualification, not pre-qualification. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister, if you can distinguish the pre and the post for us.
Mr. Speaker, pre-qualifications mandates are responsibilities of Ministry to determine technical, financial, core competence of companies. Post-qualification requirements are after delivery, which are based on output and examinations of output. Mr. Speaker, this have been done, and the post-qualifications are done as a result of the invoices that are received from the supplier. That is the only way you can use to judge whether the company has been able to deliver or not. Delivery in terms of specific performance are typical identity of post-qualifications, and this can be done through the invoice and at the shop or at the store of receiving point. Mr. Speaker, I can assure the House that at the store of receiving points, the post-qualifications have been done and the items have been taken into the store. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, My last question.
3 questions. Honorable Minority Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the minister's answer, he said this was through restricted tendering process. And he also said that they normally have lists of companies that they've been working with. I want to find out from the minister whether this company had done any supply of street lights before this contract.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I don't have the list of contractors that have performed for the ministry, and I'll be able to prepare and provide to this August House the list of those contractors. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker,
Honorable, if you want less, please, you may ask for that by a question, because the question here, 502, is a matter of methodology. It says the method used. If you want details of everything, please, you may do so by a question. But it's not expected, or nor does it flow from an answer given here this morning. Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not asking for the list. I'm asking what he himself has said here. He said it is restricted tendering, meaning that he himself qualified it by saying that they have list of companies through which they do restricted tendering. And all I'm asking is that this very company, had this supplied street lights before for it to warrant being awarded this, from his own statement that you pick from list of companies that you've been working with. I just want to know whether this company had done earlier supply of street light before this contract. I'm not asking for the list.
The details of these are not necessarily inherent in this question, which is a question on method used in awarding. If you want the details in that direction, please bring a question. Thank you very much. Question.
Mr. Speaker, we'll be very grateful to know the cost of those that will be completed.
That is not part of the question, Anna. If you want to know cost, please bring a question, and those will be given you in detail. I've read the question carefully. Question star 500. Honorable Member for Daboya Mankaribu.
I'm most grateful, Right Honorable Speaker. The Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Energy when works on the rural electrification of the following communities will commence: Mognori, Kadeng, Colombo, Jifronu, Murugu, Yazori, Bawina, Sorry number 1, Sorry number 2, and Sorry number 3.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you.
The Speaker, Mognori, Murungu, and Kaden communities form part of the ongoing Northern Volta and Eastern Regions electrification projects being executed by Hunan Construction Engineering Group Corporations of China. Mr. Speaker, high voltage and low voltage installation works have been completed at Monguru, Murungu, and Murungu. Mr. Speaker, the customer service connection works are currently ongoing within the communities. Outstanding works in these communities are substations, transformer installation works, which are expected to be completed in the first quarter of 2019 when the transformers finally arrive in the country. Mr. Speaker, high voltage and low voltage pole planting as well as pole top dressing works are currently ongoing in Kaden community. The electrification projects at Mongnori, Murungu, and Kaden is expected to be completed by the first quarter of 2019. The remaining communities, namely Kulumbu, Jimfuro, Yazuri, Sori number 1, Sori number 2, and Sori number 3, do not form part of any of the ministry's ongoing electrification projects. The communities, Mr. Speaker, will be considered in the subsequent electrification projects within the country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, I note the last paragraph of the minister's answer, and it says the remaining communities, namely Kulumbo, Jifrono, Yazore, Sori number 1, number 2, number 3, do not form part of any of the ministry's ongoing electrification projects. Mr. Speaker, the commercial agreement for the erection and electrification materials and equipment for electrification of 556 communities in Eastern, Volta, and Northern region by China Hunan Construction Engineering Corporation was approved by the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, your House, and I'll furnish you with the details. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, under package 59 of that agreement, under West Gonja, the following communities were approved by the Parliament of Ghana: Mornori, Kadeng, Kulumbo, Jifronu, Murugu, Yazori, Bowina, Sori number 1, Sori number 2, and Sori number 3. So the minister cannot tell us that these are not part of any of the electrification projects ongoing. Is it the case that he, on his own volition, and his ministry, has taken away these names out of what the Parliament of Ghana has approved? Or he was ill-informed? Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the electrification project, as stated earlier, is an ongoing project. The current arrangements in terms of contract award, those communities whose contracts have been awarded are the communities that I have already mentioned. Parliament, Mr. Speaker, approved only phase 1 of the contracts that have been named. The contract is in phases, and immediately phase 2 is approved, those communities will be rolled on. So, though in general the approval was granted, the communities in terms of phasing out the construction projects have been done in phases. The current phases do not include these communities that I've named. That doesn't mean they will not be taken into consideration, but as and when we move to phase 2, those communities would eventually be rolled on, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, they are not different contracts. It's one contract that has all those names I have listed, and indeed Parliament has approved on it. And so if the minister says that they are not part of any of the ministry's ongoing electrification project, as per his answer, that is not correct, because they are part of it. And they were not phased out. They were part of lot package 59. And these are all part of these 8 communities are part of that 59. And so, Mr. Speaker, can the Honorable Minister tell us that these are part of it and not separate or distinct from any other thing he's talking about?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the remaining communities, Ulumbu, Jimforo, Yazuri, Sor number 1, number 2, and number 3, do not form part of the ministry's ongoing, current electrification project. Maybe it's a choice of words, but current construction projects. The communities will be considered in the subsequent electrification project. So, Mr. Speaker, we're not saying that these communities will not be taken into consideration. Current communities that you visit, where you actually see construction activities ongoing, these communities are not part. But the other activities that will fall after this one, those communities will definitely benefit from the project. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. When a number of communities are prescribed for electrification, it doesn't mean they all start on the same day. We talk about ongoing, we talk about those which are currently in the process of being implemented. Honorable Minister, thank you very much for attending to the House and answering our questions.